Hey guys, it's Ash and P.
Hey,
Good morning. You look
good
so
morning.
comfy with your
I know I was
coffee.
just gonna have a sip, and then I was like, I better say hey before I do.
Nice. I am not I haven't not had coffee since New Year's,
Oh my gosh.
which
Hi.
I've been fine. I'm okay. I think so. We had talked about that neurogum, right?
Hmm.
And I said I think maybe it's working. I don't want to say it is because I'm not certain, but I think at least the energy part of it is. Not certain about the focus yet, but the energy part is because when I start feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna like crash at work
Uh-huh.
because of coffee, um, I'll choose some, and I do feel like I get like energy from it. So I
Okay.
don't know what's in it for energy, but that part of it works. I think.
Well, that's good. I'm trying to calm my heart rate down a little bit right now still. Still beating a little fast, or as Danny says, it's beeping. My heart is
Oh,
beeping fast.
she does. Her
Uh-huh.
heart is beeping.
Yes, her heart is
Oh,
beeping.
that's
Um,
cute.
But I need coffee. Even though I already had pre-workout this morning, I still need a couple cups of coffee.
Why do you need a couple cups of coffee for
Um,
like just like it, or do you feel like you need it to wake
I
up?
feel like I need it. I do feel like I need it. I mean, I'm probably just used to it, but I do feel like the mornings that I don't have coffee, because I pretty much have pre-workout, almost every morning. Every time I work out, I have it. And I feel like around 11, I start to kind of slow down.
Okay.
So, I mean, I guess the alternative would be have something at 11, but instead I just keep pumping my body with caffeine.
But the caffeine doesn't make your heart beeping more.
No, it does
You
not.
don't notice anything like that, right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
I do notice, like, I can't have coffee too late in the day because I do notice that it makes it hard for me to sleep. But
So
I've never,
yeah. I've heard that before from a lot of
you,
people. It
you can
doesn't,
drink
it does
coffee late
not.
at night.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to point out then that you're the old lady because that's an old person thing, like
I,
Jason.
I think it's because I don't know. To me, I think of it as the reason why is my body when I go all day, and so when it's shutdown time, it's shutdown time. I don't care. Like it does not matter what I've had or whatever. My body just has to go into reboot mode. It's done. I don't know. I maybe it is an old lady thing because I seriously cannot like it doesn't really do too much to I mean it'll kind of keep me like I don't drink coffee very often like in late in the day, like it's very rare, but I will have like an energy drink, like I'll have a Celsius like around 2 or 3 sometimes, especially like on the weekends. Like I'll probably have one today because we're gonna go, we have a date night tonight, and
Oh.
so I'll need a little extra, make sure I can stay up, past 10. So um yeah,
Well,
or
Celsius to
past
me
9.
are like water. Celsius don't, I could drink Celsius right before I go to sleep. I don't notice anything from those. But for some reason, coffee, if I drink coffee, it will.
Hmm.
So I drink like tea at night, in in the winter time. In winter?
In winter,
In the
I drink tea.
like Jason, he'll be cold, so he'll make himself a cup of coffee at 9:30 at night, and I'm like, oh, I'll make myself some tea. I can't do coffee that late.
Is it caffeinated, your tea?
Um, to be honest, I'm unsure. I feel like probably not because it's sleepy time tea.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah. Then no.
and I don't know that it helps me have sleepy time either, but I like chamomile tea, so that's what I'll drink at night.
I just ordered some chamomile tea, and I ordered like I think it's a lavender tea.
You'll have to
Um,
let me know your
yeah,
thoughts.
I will. I just got a shipment yesterday, actually. So
Oh, okay. Well, good. Or when I'm there next week, I might be like, hey, can I try that?
yeah, yeah.
Just because I see it and I feel like my kids would drink it, but I also feel like my kids will drink a lot of different like a lot of different kinds of teas that
Did
maybe I wouldn't.
I remember when Hayden went through his little tea
Oh, he
spout?
still loves tea.
Does he? Does he use
Hmm.
that pack? Did he use that box that we got him that one
Oh
year?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he did. I think he still has the box.
It
But
was a
just
cool
like for
box.
his room. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I know Jason was like, okay, this is empty, let's throw it away. I'm like, well, maybe ask him because it's not like a cardboard
Right,
box.
right.
So yeah, no, he still has it. But yeah, he still loves tea. And for his 21 days of fasting, he's given up soda, which
Oh,
I'm like, okay. And Nancy gave him ginger ale the other day, and she was like, I accidentally gave him ginger ale. Like, I feel really bad. I'm like, to me, ginger ale's not soda.
soda. Yeah, I
I'm
don't see
like,
it as soda.
and she's like, but I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't really see it as soda. She's like, so does that mean I didn't mess him up? I was like, well, Hayden, what, like, in your mind, what is ginger ale? If you were going to get a soda, like, would ginger ale be something you would think of? And he was like, no, I just think it's ginger ale. I was like, then I think you're fine, Nancy. Like, she was feeling
She's
all
like, oh
bad.
my gosh, I'm the devil.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
tempted him.
And last night he was like, because he loves the sparkling waters from
Oh,
Trader
it's Trader
Joe's.
Joe's. Mhm.
I can't. The last like 3 days, my vocabulary is so jacked up I cannot talk. But he loves their sparkling water. So whenever I go for like my Bible study or whatever, I'll stop by and grab him more. And so he was making himself a cup of some lot yesterday, and she was like, um, Hayden, I don't know that you're supposed to have that. And he's like, why? It's just sparkling water. And she was like, I don't know, ask your mom. And I was like, well, I think it's just sparkling water. Are you giving up like everything carbonated, or is it like you're giving up soda, like no Dr. Pepper, no Pepsi, that kind of stuff? And he was like, yeah, no, none of like the sugary stuff. Like that's, I guess, what he was trying to avoid, sugary drinks mainly. And I was like, I mean, sparkling water, I think it's just sparkling water. The bubbles are fine. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. That's a big one.
yeah. So we'll see how he does. I feel like in 21 days, you should have been able to like change a habit, right?
Yes.
I don't know the length of days, but I feel like by 21, you should be fine. So I don't know. Maybe he'll be less into soda.
Yeah.
I don't buy soda for the house unless like holidays are coming or something like that. Um, but even then, normally I make one of my siblings like, hey, you're in charge of bringing drinks or whatever. So we don't really have soda, but they'll go out and buy soda. Or like if they go and get food that they're not supposed to eat, which Hayden actually drove his friends to McDonald's this week and sat there and watched them eat, and he did not have any.
Good for
I'm like,
him.
wow, Jason. Jason goes, you drove them? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, did you get gas money? Because if you're driving and you're not eating, then I'm like, no. And he's like, yeah. And Jason goes, they could have at least bought you a McChicken or something. You could get it grilled. And he's like, no. I'm like, no, you don't. Like, then you just eat a piece of grilled chicken. And there's probably, for McDonald's, there's probably a lot of stuff in the McChicken. Like, just like if you got grilled chicken, it's not just a chicken breast that you got from the store and you grilled it. I'm sure
Right.
there's all kinds of junk in that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
They need us to be addicted to everything. So yeah, I was like, oh, wow. Okay, good for you. I'm impressed.
Well, really quick, because you're on your JRFK Jr. diet
Yeah.
and you went to the doctor. Um, have you noticed anything on the scale yet?
I'm only down like 5 pounds, which makes me a bit sad because so the first 2 days of the year I had those meals that had some preservatives in it. um, so 9 days. So I'm a little sad that it's not more. Just
Oh, I
because
think that's really
normally,
good. I think that's good.
when I diet, like have an actual diet, like I don't know.
Like when you did Wheat
I
Belly and stuff like that?
Yeah, I normally will lose like almost a pound a day. So it's just a little slower, but it's okay because I'm, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
That's
So
right. That's right.
it's okay, and I feel fine, like I feel good. I haven't had a lot of cravings except last week, when I did brunch with my girls, and I had some potatoes, which it's weird because I've had meals with potatoes in it, but I don't know what the difference is. But that day, remember, I don't know if I mentioned it on here or just to you, that I was like, oh, like ice cream would be so good right now. But
Oh,
other than that, I haven't really had cravings.
I thought you were talking about the day that you wanted some Dow.
So I have had another craving. Yeah. No, that was when I was grocery shopping. Just walk around the store with a bottle of wine drinking it. Yeah, so those are the two times that I've had cravings, but it's not like I've been, oh my gosh, like I want this so bad or I want that so bad. And
Yeah.
maybe part of it is not having it in the house. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. Okay, so we've started the year off. We're 11 days in, and can I just tell you first of all, like why like New Year's Day was like crazy town in our country, right? Like there
Yeah.
was just craziness happening. And now we have the fires going on right now in Southern California.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like one of those things like what is going on 2025? You're really starting out kind of scary.
Yeah.
But I'm always one, like kind of like we talked about with our guest last week. It's like I'm a realist, and I don't like what is it, resolutions, because I just feel like um, it's kind of cheesy and cliche, and I just feel like it's not something that people don't hold to them.
Yeah.
But if you set goals, and you can set them at any time of the year, but what a great time to start it, right? To set some goals for yourself for the full year, on New Year's Eve. So um, we do goals, we write them down. I like to visually see my goals. We have a friend that would do vision boards, and I think that's super
Yes.
cool and awesome. I'm not putting that much into it, I guess, to do a whole vision board. But setting some goals, and we did it. I always do it for myself, but this year we did it as a family, and hopefully that holds everyone accountable. And the good thing about it too is there have been times where I've already said, like, to the kids, like, remember our goal, like,
Nice.
and then they're
Oh,
like,
that's
oh
good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
That's really awesome.
so I want to know, did you guys set some goals? I know we talked about you were possibly going to do some goals for 2025.
Yes, we did. So me, Hayden, Nancy, and Jason all set goals. Super sad, and hopefully he will probably not listen to this, but if he does, hopefully he's not offended by it. But it made me sad when we were doing it, because Jackson wasn't there. He was with a friend. So we were like, okay, the next day do it. And he was like, mm, I don't I don't know. Like I don't have we're like, okay, well, we filled out this paper. And so it was like, in 2024, what are some things that, like, what are some of your best memories? What are some of the things that, like, you want to do more of, less like different things like that. So we did that. What are you looking forward to in 2025? Three things that you want to do in 2025, different stuff like that. And he's like, I don't know. Like, he was looking forward to getting his cast off. That was it. And I was like, Jackson, like, what about? And he's like, I'm like, there's nothing that you're like, there's once you have your cast off and you can go back to skating, like that's not something you're looking forward to. And he's like, like,
Oh,
so just like not, it made me see like how unhappy he is. Like,
yeah,
and I feel like he doesn't want to set goals. I feel like he's depressed. He doesn't want to set
yeah,
goals because he really isn't like hopeful for anything at this time. And it made me so sad. And I'm like, gosh, there's nothing that he's looking forward to. Like nothing that he wants to do less of, do more of. And I was like, come on, Jackson. I was like we all did it. Like, what about this? What about that? Like, there's nothing you're looking forward to? No. Like, one is like 3 places you would like to travel. He's like, I don't know where we're going to go. I'm like, okay, it's not where are we going to go? It's 3 places you would like to travel. You don't even have to travel to these places. But like, if you were going to travel this year, where are some places you would like to go to? And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, really? Like, nothing? And he said, um, why am I gonna make plans for something? Why am I gonna make goals for something when I don't know what's gonna happen? And I'm like, well, I mean, it doesn't, these are things you would like to do. Like, if you meet these goals, great. If you don't meet these goals, cool. Next year you can move them over. Like,
mm-hmm.
there's nothing. And he's just like, and I'm like, gosh, I need you in therapy more.
Yeah.
I
Is he
and
still,
I
he's
don't
still
know.
going?
Yeah, not as often, and it's really hard because his therapist was like, I think he's okay to come less often, like he only will go once a month or whatever. But I'm like, what is it that he's not telling her? Like, I feel like he's
Yeah.
not telling her that he feels this way. I feel like he feels empty inside.
I was
Like,
gonna
just the
say, yeah,
conversation, I feel like he just feels empty. There's
yeah,
nothing.
yeah,
And so it's like, I feel like he must not be telling her that. So I'll have to go to his next appointment because she'll ask, like, do you need to come back in the beginning? So I feel like I'm going to have to go because I feel like he must not be talking to her about that kind of stuff,
yeah.
you know?
It's tough. I mean, he's at a prime age of like his hormones are wacko, his like emotions, and trying to understand he's no longer a little kid, but he's not quite like a big kid, you know?
Yeah.
And he's kind of in this, and it's got to be rough. And he doesn't know his identity. He hasn't found that yet. But it sounds like he's almost, I don't want to say hopeless, but he's like
Yeah.
I mean like feeling that way, but it's like he feels like there's no there's no like looking, there's
Exactly.
no like, well, you know, I'm looking forward to this, or so where's the hope of, you
Yes.
know, of happiness?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it almost made me feel um, like people who think the worst of stuff, right? Like, tomorrow there could be a terrorist attack and I could die, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like his mentality is kind of like that. Like, why would I plan anything? Because I don't know what's going to happen. I might not be able, like, I may not even be here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know that his thoughts go that far, but it felt like that type of thinking. And I'm just like, oh, gosh. So that was not exciting.
Yeah.
But I'm the rest of us did stuff, like we actually filled it out, um and maybe hopefully at some point this year he'll feel better, and he will. But yes, we did set goals. I mentioned mine um about eating better, about I don't know if I mentioned, but reading the Bible every day,
Mm-hmm.
um and oh, not swearing. I'm
Oh,
working hard on that.
yeah.
Sometimes
That's
it's
tough.
harder.
That's
Yeah,
tough.
so I'm working on that one. But yeah, those were like my 3 goals, things to do this year. What about you?
Okay, so I brought mine so that I can remember in front of me.
You're smart because I'm like, oh, I wish I had them.
So so mine was that and don't roll your eyes.
Oh, you want to lose weight?
I do want to lose weight.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I want to lose weight and create better eating habits because I feel like as we've moved here, I've really gone astray in my eating. Not necessarily like we don't, I mean, I do pick up food sometimes, but we eat out, like we'll go out to a restaurant and eat, but we're not like fast food people. So if
Yeah.
anything, I think probably my weakness here is Chick-fil-A because it's way more convenient here than it is
Oh,
like, you know,
yeah.
back in Clovis and Fresno.
What do you eat from Chick-fil-A, just out of curiosity?
Just a Chick-fil-A sandwich. That's all I
Okay.
ever want. But it's not good, it's still
Yeah.
fast food. So
Yeah.
that's probably the one thing that I would say I probably I shouldn't eat. Or and that and pizza. I love pizza. Um but
Not hamburgers. Hamburgers aren't your
hamburgers are not
favorite.
my no, not my number one. But I do want to get back to which I really have been for the most part. We've been doing pretty good as far as just like um I mean I cook all the time. So just being ahead of my cooking and making sure that I'm putting healthy amounts of food on my plate and not overindulging in the food. Whether it's healthy or not, you can still overeat.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so just making sure that I'm portioning my food out and I'm not, overindulging in the food just because it tastes yummy. I'm actually only eating what I need to proportion for myself
That's a
and
good
not
one.
going up.
Even though I think you're wild because you look great, you're thin, I feel like that's still a good goal for any of us because I think in America our portion sizes are just out of control
They're out of control.
and there
They are.
really is no need for us to eat that much,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And like you said, even good things, your body doesn't need 1,000 calories in one meal of just because it's healthy stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's a good one. I'll support you in that, fine, Priscilla. I'll support
Okay.
you.
Okay. Um, the other goal I put for myself was to grow my business. Um,
Yes.
yes. So we haven't really talked too much about it on here. But for those of you listening, when we moved here, I started my own business and it's been a slow but good process. Like it's been great. I mean, we've only been here have we been here 6 months now? Yeah.
Yeah.
6 months. 6 months. It'll be 6 months this month. And so I got licensed, I got insured, I got all my stuff, all my ducks in a row. I have a, a, a pretty good contract right now, but I want to continue and grow that business. And so my goal in 2025 is to really grow the business here.
That's
And
exciting.
yeah, yeah. So it just means it's a little bit more. I mean, it is work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of my 6 months and growing here, um, with it has been the research. I mean, you think like everyone's always like, so are you going to do something? Like, are you going to, and it's like, well, I am. It takes time and
Yeah.
I have to market research here what's available already. How am I going to be different? How is it going to work? And so I spent a lot of the time that I've had here doing that while doing the paperwork and while doing all the other stuff.
Yeah.
It's been just getting business accounts set up and
Yeah.
um, figuring out like okay the books for all my
Oh,
expenses and income through a business and what that looks like and how does that all work? And how do I, file for things like that? So it's been some growing pains of like just learning like, okay, wow, okay, so this is everything it is here. Okay, I have to do these steps. Okay, I have to do this. Okay, nope, can't do that. What's the best way to move money as far as like how do I end up paying myself,
Yes.
things like that. So
Yeah.
so
I would
it's
like a
been,
paycheck.
yeah, I would like for the business to actually pay me. I'd like to have
Yeah.
something. So, so in 2025, I really want to focus on my business here and growing that.
That's great. Now, quick question, because I didn't even think about, I haven't asked you about this, but you have had your business for a part of 2024.
Yes.
So, I know a lot of times businesses, they'll have taxes like twice a year. Is that a state thing or is that a federal thing?
I honestly, I don't know. I actually have I have an appointment, a phone call with someone with a CPA to take over my stuff. We currently had a CPA in Clovis. This one is actually still in Clovis.
Okay.
But because my business, because the bulk of my income is coming from California, I'll still have to file in California.
Oh,
Um,
so
so
you'll
I'll
have
have to
state
file in two.
taxes.
Yeah, I'll have to file in two states. I'll have to file
Oh,
in Nevada and in California.
that's a bummer.
I know, but that's
So
why I'm
you'll have to
giving it to
file in
her.
two states for yourself, but then also the business will have to do two states.
Yes,
Oh,
yes,
Jiminy Crickets, that's a lot.
yeah. So I am meeting with her to give her all my stuff and say, what do I do?
Okay.
Here's my
Yeah.
stuff. What do I do?
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
I want to hear more about that. We don't have to necessarily talk about it here, but that is something that I am curious about.
yeah, and it's something that I guess like I don't know how businesses do it when they've got when these people are doing businesses in other states in overseas like or like
Oh
you know what I
gosh.
mean, like
Yeah.
if you're a travel agent and you have a business in Nevada and then you are doing work in Mexico, like how does that work? I
Yeah.
don't I'm like blown away by like thinking about how it goes even further.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, like I mean, your husband's work does business out of the country,
Yeah.
so there's stuff like that involved too. I don't know if I guess maybe they purchase more from there. They're not necessarily getting income from there, right?
Right.
So maybe that makes it easier in that aspect.
I don't
Going
know.
without a yeah,
But
that's
they have
wild.
like, yeah, because you think about, I mean, they've got like full operations there
Yeah,
and
yeah,
warehouses and employees or,
yeah.
like, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is wild. Okay, interesting. So keep me updated. It doesn't have to be on here if that's not interesting. I know taxes and that kind of thing aren't necessarily
Everyone's
like,
like, we don't give a
ooh,
shit.
right? Exactly.
Um,
Shut up and move on.
and
And
then
what is next?
the last one was really just to continue my path that I've been on I've with like my faith and just continuing to be part of our community. The things that I've already been starting, just to continue with it. Um, you mentioned reading the Bible, finishing the Bible, right? You want to read like the full Bible in a year, right?
Yes, yes.
Um, I've been on my own, reading like either a whole is it chapter? Is that what it would be? Yeah, it'd be
Yeah,
chapter. Like I would like read a whole chapter in the morning or maybe two, depending on how much time I had and how long the chapter was. And then I have, so I read a chapter and then I pray and then I go work out. And um, it's really working well. And I did it before, obviously before the new year. I started that about 2 months ago, a month ago. I guess it's been 2 months. Yeah, 2 months. And it's really helping. I notice huge. It's just a huge help throughout the day in my mental state, and also just keeping me up on things. One thing that I started this year was I was invited to start a faith-based book club. And so I joined, and so we just started, and so we have a new book, and so now I'm reading my Bible, and
Bless.
then I'm reading the book, and then I'm praying, and then I'm going to work out.
What book is it?
It's The Well-Watered Woman,
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay.
and it's already very, I mean, we like just like, this is like first week. And so we just did like there's like an intro and stuff. And so we did that first part. We haven't even gotten into the chapter, but it is going to be, I think it'll be really good. I got really emotional yesterday morning.
Oh, I know. Thanks a lot.
Sorry. Did you get
It
emotional?
like, yeah, you teleported it over here. I was like, oh, gosh.
I got really emotional, and I don't know, part of it was probably too that I was reading about I'm reading the book of Matthew right now.
Yes.
And so I started to read about
The crucifixion.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
it just like brought me like to like I'm going to start crying now. Full
I
blown
know.
tears.
Don't do it.
Full blown tears. I mean, I was like bawling I got down on my knees right away and started praying because I just got so emotional. And so I think that that's just part of this whole journey that I'm on. It's just,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get on here and preach to anyone. It's not about that. It's just watering my well.
Yeah.
It's watering,
Yes.
it's nourishing my soul, and
Yeah.
building that relationship. So those were kind of my goals. We all set goals. I was really proud of my kids. Tristan set goals. Georgia set goals. Danny set goals. Tony set goals. And then we set a goal as a family.
Oh, that's a good idea. What's your family goal?
And so we have two family goals, which one is to be more patient with each
That's a
other.
good one.
Be more
That's a
patient.
good one.
And the other one was watch the way we speak to each other. And
That's good.
And so those were actually really good goals we all agreed on. Everyone agreed on it. And they all said that we could work on that. And so
That's really good.
yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that because one of the things that the little paper that we did was something that I need to be better at this year, or something like that. And Jason put, I need to have more patience with my family, which it's so funny because he's not like a fly off the handle. Like, I'm a fly off the handle. Like,
Yeah.
like you do something that frustrates me and I can like flip quick. He is not that way. He
Right.
is pretty calm for most things. It's like the boys have to have not done something that he's asked them to do over and over and over before he's even going to get an attitude with him,
Yeah.
so, or with them. It's so funny, but yeah, he put have more patience with his family.
Now,
So,
did he mean with his direct family in his home, or did he mean with your family? Because
that is a great question because we did just come off of Christmas, so the family was over.
because that I can see.
He did not specify, but it really seemed directed at our immediate household family. I don't know. I don't remember.
That's so
We
funny.
were playing New Year's games. We were doing like card games for New Year's, and New Year's Eve, obviously. And Jason, we stopped doing it and he happened to write that down. I don't know if something had recently happened or what, but yeah, he did say that.
That's so funny.
So
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know.
so like the chill one.
I know.
Um,
So that is not something for, him in my opinion. In my
yeah,
opinion, it's not, but what do I know?
yeah,
So maybe internally he feels very frustrated by us and he
yeah,
just doesn't let it out,
yeah.
where I'm like, I don't keep things in.
He
I'm like,
totally does say everything under his breath that he is like when he's
oh,
annoyed, like
yeah.
he gets super annoyed, but he says everything under his breath and like he's like trying to hold it in like
Yeah, he's pretty passive about
yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
which I don't know. It's so funny because um like if I'm irritating him or if I'm like being a B word, he will like he'll tell me, like, was that necessary? Do you, like, you really think you needed to, like, during the Christmas holiday, I said, like, I made some comments and like really like, okay, well, blah blah blah, whatever, stupid, like annoyed about something that Jackson had said, and Jason's like, really, was that necessary? You think you really had to like go that hard about it? I'm like, I just looked at him, didn't say anything. This was before resolutions, right? So I'm like, whatever, okay, guy, whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, I did, because like what I was frustrated about is something that only I worry about for our
yeah,
family. And that's great that you felt like I didn't need to go that hard. But maybe if other people shared their concern about it, like I wouldn't be taking all of the pressure on for So it's like, yeah, maybe to you it seems like, whoa, calm down there, killer. But to me, I'm like, no, that's something that does stress me out.
yeah.
So no. So yeah, I don't know. Craziness.
Oh
Crazy,
my
crazy. Is that a
gosh.
black coffee you're drinking there?
It is a black coffee. Yep,
My
that's
husband said he drank some black coffee with you guys this week.
he did. Yep, that's how I like it.
I know.
Dark and
Like
strong.
mine.
Yes, dark and strong, baby.
I love it.
Okay, we are going to take a quick break really quick. We come back. I want to go into a few things that 2025 has in store.
Oh no. Okay.
We'll be
I'm
right back.
excited.
Hey guys, we're back.
Hey.
Um, okay, so we talked a little bit about, well, we talked about our goals for 2025 and what's to come. I have a question for you because I feel like 2025, your schedule went from like maybe like 25% busy to like 95% busy.
I do feel that way also, which is, I feel like my life was like 10% busy before. I I feel like I
Well,
had
it,
a
it was
pretty,
it was getting busy with like Jax's band's a lot on
yes,
families.
yes,
Um, and you do have like you are involved in your church, so you do like your two services on Sundays. You work 12 hours, 4 days a week, so it's like,
10.
oh, I'm sorry.
10, yeah.
I said 12. Well, I was trying to,
I'll take 3 12s. That's fine too. That is
um,
fine.
10 hours. So, I mean, it is still a schedule, a busy schedule, but I feel like you ramped up 2025 and I'm like, okay, what is she doing? Like, are you going to be able to do this? This is a lot.
I don't know, to be honest. I'm not sure. So, with band, luckily, so in the beginning of the year, marching band is taking place. So, marching is a lot. It's like an every week, every weekend kind of thing. So, Jackson has practice twice a week, plus if they're having like a competition that's coming up or something like that, they might have weekend practices. So there's that. I am a little bit lucky in that aspect because since Hayden doesn't have a job, unfortunately and fortunately. He is able to handle taking him and picking him up during the week. So I don't really get impacted by that. Where I do would be obviously the traveling, because normally for the competitions, even if we're not traveling, it's something that we are there for a good chunk of the day. So that is no longer, so that's nice. Now it's just winter percussion, and they do have a couple of competitions, but it's not an every weekend thing. So band has slowed down some for me, thankfully. But I did, back in, I think, August of last year. No, it was October of last year. I started, it's not like a Bible study, I guess. It's kind of more of like a life groupish type thing. It's called Rooted Through Church. And so I started that with my group of ladies, and that's once a week. And then I started a Bible study, which I'm really excited about the Bible study, because it's called Hey Girl, and it's the women in the Bible. So each
Oh, I love that.
week you're going through, either sometimes it'll be like 1 week you're doing one person, and sometimes it's like 2 weeks you're working on that person, kind of thing. Their story's just a little bit bigger, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's focusing on the women of the Bible. And so I'm super excited about it. I love that.
I love it.
However, that is the group that I'm like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to do it. And the reason I'm like, I don't know, is because they have an online option. And maybe I should have done that, but some of my girls from Thursday nights are doing it too. And so we all joined in the same group. Well, now some of them have dropped out, and I don't know the other women as well. So I know maybe that's not good, but I'm like, maybe I don't need to go into class. I can watch the video online.
Yeah.
I can do the homework by myself. Now I don't have anyone, see, they're doing it on Zoom. So I guess maybe they do meet. So the only thing that would really cut out would be the travel to church.
And it's a
But
lot of the reading that you're having a hard time keeping up on. Yeah.
Yes, because I have to do, so I have for that 5 days of readings that take place, readings and workbook, right? And then in my Rooted, I have, that one is less intense. Now I've gone over to Shapes of Rooted, so we finished like the main thing of it, and now it's just kind of continuing the growth. So that one's only, it's 3, and then day 4 and 5 are optional, which I prefer to do day 4 and 5 because I feel like I'm kind of cheating if I don't know. So there's that. And then I have my daily Bible reading, which is typically 3 to 5 verses. So I guess it just depends. That's the one that I'm going to get through the Bible in the year. So it is a lot of reading, and then a lot of, for the Shapes of Rooted and for my Bible study, I do have workbooks on those. And so I'm doing those. So I do feel a little bit busy, because then I was like, yeah, let's eat like non-processed food. So that means I have to cook, and I don't cook. So then I'm doing that. This first week back from vacation, because I just went back to work Monday, I did not get to bed before midnight, because I'm trying to figure out how to cook, go to my classes, do my Bible readings, and do my workbooks. And it's just, I'm not doing a very good job at that. Time management is not my strong point.
It's not, but I also just think you're taking on too much too fast. I think, how long is your Rooted program this time?
It is a 10-week thing, and we are about halfway through. So I have another 5 weeks, but then after that, we'll just continue on like on our own without that. Like, it'll still be a life group. So we'll still meet, But as far as like what we're doing for, what would you call like your workbook kind of
Yeah,
stuff?
like your homework for it.
Yeah, yeah. Like as far as what we're doing for homework, that'll be determined by us. So hopefully a little easier, like time management wise. I don't know. But yeah, but Hey Girl is 24 weeks. And that's a long, long time.
That's a long time. Our husbands are blowing up our
I know.
phones.
I don't know what your husband's response is like.
I know.
But I'm thinking it's a funny thing. So,
Um,
I thought they were talking about like the fires or something.
yeah.
I don't know.
I think that you're like, I think your heart is in the right place, but I
Yeah.
just think like it's a lot. I mean, when I was invited to start this book club or to be in this book club, I was like, she's like, I know you're already doing, because I'm going through RCIA right now, so I'm going through the process of getting confirmed. And she's like, I know you're already busy with RCIA, but you know, it's so if you can't, don't worry about it. But it's very, to me, it's we only meet once a month virtually.
Okay.
So that's easy. And then this first month
That's
is like,
very easy.
yes. And this first month is slow because it's like, she knows like everyone's just getting the book. Everyone's getting back to school with the kids and all that stuff. So let's just like ease into it. And this is like your first portion, which was like 5 pages. And so it's like 5 or 6 pages, which I did already. And then she'll like kind of guide us from there. And then we have like a journal that comes with like that you can buy too, which I did. And so you can write your notes from the book that you know, want to jot down to remember. But I really I like it, and I just feel like it's a little bit like it's easier to maintain, but a full Bible study group just wasn't gonna, there's no way I could do that in RCIA. And you know, there's just no way.
Now, I will say, like, okay, with either one of them, if you don't do the like that week's lessons or whatever, they still encourage you to go. Like, it's not like you didn't do your work, don't go. You know, they still encourage you to go. And obviously, it's not like anything's being checked off like, oh, if Ashley didn't do her work this week, she's gotta be now. You know, it's nothing like that. So they are still very much like life happens. Like if you don't get it done, you don't get it done. Like still come. You know, I think a lot of it with the Shapes of Rooted, the life group aspect of it, that is a lot to do with fellowship and like your growth. So even without following that study or what have you, you know, we still want you to be there, involved, that kind of thing. And with the Bible study, I think a lot of that is about fellowship too. Like it's not necessarily, did you do the work? Like, let's go over this work and, you know, that kind of thing. It's like, it's about coming together. So it's not like if you don't do the work, then you shouldn't go. So I feel like it should not be, for me, I put a lot of pressure on myself to get it done. Like I don't want to go and not have completed it, but people do go and they haven't completed it. People like are totally involved, like they haven't completed it, but just through discussion they're like, oh, you know, like give like a portion of their input on it and that kind of thing. For me though, I'm like, I have to do this, I have to get it done. I can't go and not. I don't know. And I don't know what that is. I don't know why that is, because we're all adults. Like none of us are going like, oh, you didn't do it, you know? And like, and people will say like, well, I didn't do the work, but blah, 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 you know? And it's like, okay, well, like they are still getting stuff out of it. Right.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I had major deja vu when you were saying that though right now. I'm like, oh my gosh, why? Really? Yeah. So weird. Well, I don't know. I just think, I mean, to me, even just the cooking on you, with especially with your schedule and you not being used to it. And it's not like you're like, Oh, I'll just whip it all together real quick because I'm so
No,
used to cooking. This is a big transition for you. I just feel
huge.
like you've put on a lot on your plate so soon.
I
So
have. And if I don't do better this week, I might lose my mind because I'm so tired. I'm just like,
yeah,
I, like if I go to bed at 12:30, I have to be at work by 6. And
yeah,
I know a lot of people are like, oh, I can get like 5, 6 hours of sleep and be fine. I'm not those people. I need sleep.
yeah,
My body doesn't operate that way. So I'm like last night we were talking, the kids came home with some food. Nancy took them to go get dinner, and then Jason and I came home. We're eating leftovers, and so we're all sitting in there, and they're like asking questions, and I'm like thinking in my head like, just smile, Ashley, just smile, Ashley, because I'm so tired that I'm like, I can't talk,
yeah,
like I can't have this conversation, like I don't want to have to think I'm too tired. Or like a dumb questions, if I'm tired, I'm like, don't even mess with me, because why are you asking that stupid of a question? So I'm like, which I didn't say anything. I did, like, I think my face, I've been told sometimes that my facial expressions, that I need to control those better, but I don't think I did. But I'm like, don't take out your lack of sleep on these kids. Like, all they're trying to do, kids don't want to talk with you. If they're
yeah,
down there and they're having conversations, like, you better accept that conversation,
yeah,
tired or not. You
yeah,
better not push them to where they don't want to
yeah,
have the conversation anymore. So yeah, my goal is that tomorrow, I will meal prep. I might try to start some of it today just because Jason's home and he leaves tomorrow morning. So I'm hoping that I can get most of that stuff done so that it's quicker, or that even, Hayden, like I said, unfortunately, he's not working. So if I can get things prepared and have him do those things because he gets home before I do, then there's that part of it too. So I don't know. We'll see if I'm able to maintain my Bible study, like going into the church to do it, which I would prefer, because we do worship, and like we hear from the women's like the women's ministry leader. We hear from her, like she always gives us, a little tidbit before we start worship, and then we listen to the speaker or whatever. So I do like that, but if I am gonna have to, like, let something go, it's going to have to be that, because I can't let go. Like, my
yeah.
rooted is like my core group. I can't let that go because they're
They're
like
your
my,
people.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I can't do that. But I also have to still cook.
yeah,
So,
yeah. It's good to be able to eat. I mean,
it's, yes, eating is,
that's
especially
important.
like if I want my kids to, I know they're out there eating stuff that's not great when they're not with us and things like that. But if I want them to eat somewhat better, I'm gonna have to cook for them.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
whatever, it's
yeah.
fine. You had mentioned though, you had said something about 2025, some things in 2025.
Yeah, I wish I had a song I could play right now. Um because basically I wanted to tell everyone that um Tony and I are getting married again in 2025.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Um
excited. The invite is so cute. I love
Thank
it.
you. Yes. So we are part of my going through RCIA and being confirmed. I was baptized as a baby. I never did, first communion even. I never did anything like that. And when we got married, I had thought about it. I had thought about getting confirmed, but I was really afraid, and this is kind of like a whole other topic that we can get into later. I was really afraid to get my first marriage annulled. and go through that process and what that all meant and
Were
how.
you afraid because you were afraid that they would tell you no? Or what do you mean by
No,
afraid?
I was afraid of like, what does, I guess in my mind, an annulment was like basically like it shouldn't have happened or it didn't happen. And it's like erasing that portion. And I have Tristan and I have
Yeah.
a beautiful child that came out of that marriage. And in all reality, even though it was a bad marriage, I've said this on here before, I wouldn't be able to appreciate the husband I have today had it not been for me going through that. I don't know that I could be, I don't know that I would appreciate him. Maybe I would, maybe I totally would, but I don't know that I would. I don't know, because all I know is because of what I went through, I appreciate him and value him so much more and the little things that he does and the man that he is. Because I know what else it could be like, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so I was afraid of that, but it's been in my heart for a really long time to go through this, and I've been doing RCIA since we pretty much moved here. We started right in the beginning of August, and it'll go through. I'll be confirmed in May, but part of the process is. Because we're already civilly married, we need to be married in the eyes of the church, in the eyes of God, in church. And so we never had that the first time because, again, I wasn't confirmed. And so we're planning a little ceremony. Very simple, very little. It's just some close friends and family. That will invite to come out and see this ceremony.
Jason
But
said with Priscilla, nothing is little.
that's what
So
his
I
aunt
am
said. And
curious.
I said, no, it's very simple. We actually, it was so funny because they're like, okay, well, we're meeting with our priest and the office lady who kind of handles putting it all together, like the wedding stuff. And she's like, okay, so it is available on this day, which is the day that our priest had asked us if we could do because he's here, and he's like, let's do it. Well, it's during Lent, and so the church is decorated in a lot of purple, right? For
Okay.
for
Yes.
um for Lent. And so she's like, well, if we do it during Lent, you're not going to really be able to do up the church a lot because I was like, and Tony's like, she's fine. It's fine. I'm like, yeah, he's thinking she doesn't need to spend money on making the church look whatever. I was like, no, 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 it's totally fine. Like
Yeah.
I don't need to do, no, that's fine.
That's so funny.
And they're like, well, do you want a simple, just like you, like, do you want it to be simple where, or do you want a full mass? Because if you go full mass and you go the whole thing, right? We'll have like a wedding coordinator. We have like all this stuff. And she's like, but it comes with a fee. There's a fee. And I was like, it's fine. We'll do that. And Tony's like, well, I was like, it's fine. We'll do it.
Do
And
full mass.
full mass. I was like, yes,
Okay.
I want a full mass. I want a full, I
If you're
want the
gonna
full,
do it,
yes,
you want to
absolutely.
do it, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
You're not doing like it's not just like, okay, I'm checking this off so that
Right.
I can be confirmed. It's
Right.
like if you're going to have the marriage in the church and in the eyes of God,
Yes.
it
And
should
it's like
be the whole
it's
thing.
a right. And I'm like, no, this is a holy sacrament. Marriage is one of the sacraments. And if I'm going to do this, I absolutely want the mass. I absolutely, want us to go through the all of it.
Yeah.
Um so yes. So we have I asked Tony, I was like, I don't really want to just like send a text out. Like, can I just make a little like uh-oh.
A little invitation.
Yeah, like a little invitation, and then we could just send it out. Like I'll just text it out. He's like, you're not going to mail invites, right? I was like, I'm not going to mail invites. I'll just send out a text with it. And he's like, okay. And so I just told him, I said, it just depends. He goes, because I sent it and right away my grandparents are like, we'll be there. We're so happy for you. And
I RSVP'd already.
Yep. And they're excited. And so I just told Tony, I was like, well, we'll just, depending on how many people, we'll have to figure out a little like reception to do after and stuff. But it really will be simple. It really will not be anything crazy. I'm not having a second wedding. I'm just
Okay, I'm picking out my bridesmaid's dress right now.
I'm going to make Tony squeeze into his suit. No, because I don't have to fit into my suit, right? I was like, that should be a really good goal for you.
You're all yes, you do.
And
and remember, we have to get married because I need to be confirmed. So
and I told,
get on it.
I told Jason, I said, because I gave my mom the name and number to a doctor here because she's interested in starting Ozempic. And I said, I'm going to have to go. Shoot, I have 2 months. I'm like, I'm going to have to go with my mom and start doing Ozempic.
I'm going to have to punch you when I see you next week. Is it next week?
It's next
week. It feels like longer than that, but
it's coming really fast. I have so much to do. Oh, so much to do.
Do you?
Yeah.
Jason, I forget what Jason was saying about the birthday. And so I don't think it was mentioned on here, but Priscilla's super cute and a really good party planner, hence her event planning business. But she is, for Georgia's birthday, it's like the great cake off. So the kids will bake their own cake and they're decorating it.
They're decorating it. So the cakes will already be baked. They're already made.
Oh gosh, that's way better.
Yes.
So the kids are going to decorate it and all that stuff. And Jason said, said something. I'm like, no, Jason, she has someone that's doing that for her. I think he thought you were going to have to handle like all the cake stuff. I'm like, she has someone that she's hired to do that.
Yes.
So, no. Yes. But it's a super cute idea. I love it.
I know. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be adorable. I just ended up booking also a little like castle, like a bounce house.
Oh, bounce house?
Yeah. Like the cute ones, not like not like the not like the Dora the Explorer ones, but like like the real cute ones. I just ended up getting one of those too. But yeah, so we're having her birthday here with her schoolmates next weekend. So I have so much to do for that. Getting people to RSVP is a little difficult. And I needed to know because I needed to tell the baker how many cakes to make, Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We'll see. I may end up
Hopefully we don't have to whip anything up.
I may have to end up with quite a few extra cakes.
Just because you're going to have to overorder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, not that this gets you out of having extra cakes, but you could always have like the bigger kids do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I did think about that.
Will T be home?
No, she will not. No.
Jason asked about that and I was like, I'm sure. And then I was like, actually, no, like that's really close to when she went back to school.
Mm-hmm. I asked her if she wanted to wait, but she was like, I really need to get back. And like, she wanted to find a job and everything. And I'm like, I know, that's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not like she's, close in age and is going to be in the bounce house with them. And
Yeah.
I'm sure she could decorate a cake with them, but George is going to be so distracted with her classmates.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. Danny's like, do I get to go? I'm like, yeah.
No.
Yeah, I think you get to go.
It's going to be here and you're actually leaving. No, I'm just kidding.
But they'll have their own individual cakes and they'll have a cake box so they can take them home. After they decorate them, and I got little trophies that I'm gonna Cricut for them. So
that's cute. Oh, see, you are too much. You are so cute. I am super excited. I can't wait to see it. So we'll post pictures of all their cakes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, yeah. So that's my big 2025 news. I get to get married again, and go through that, but it'll be exciting. I'm excited for it. It's going to come so quick. I feel like I was talking to Tony's aunt yesterday and she's like, do you ever just like not have anything going on? I was like, nope, nope,
Great question. The answer is
nope,
no.
no,
Yeah.
no. Always
That
on to
is
the
funny.
next. Always on to
Yeah.
the next.
Seriously. Okay, question for you. So you keep mentioning it, and those that are Catholic will know, I'm sure. But being that I'm not, what does RCIA stand for? Is it
Oh, I
Roman
knew you were
Catholic
going to
something
ask.
something?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
I just hear
I
it and I don't know. I guess I could have Googled it
no,
and been there for a while.
it's the rite of Christian initiation of adults.
Oh, okay. So nothing to do with Roman Catholic. I always thought, oh, maybe RC stands for Roman Catholic, but no. Right. Wait, what'd you say? Right?
Rite of Christian initiation of adults.
Okay. So the kids when they're going through confirmation, is that catechism?
I think they do catechism for
First communion?
first communion.
Okay.
And then I don't know what they call it between first communion and confirmation. What they take,
It's
like
probably
it's
just called
confirmation, I would think. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Which I'm taking RCIA, and I think it's a little confusing for some people. I know that they've had this question, like, we are doing one class for those that are baptized and those that are not baptized. So although I was already baptized Catholic in the church, like I'm Catholic, right? But there are adults in the class that have never been baptized Catholic, or they were never baptized at all. And so there's some that were never baptized at all. Now the Catholic Church will. There are certain. I think if you're baptized and you can show proof of your baptism, they like honor it, but so there's all these different brackets of people kind of, but we're all taking the same class. So sometimes I think people think RCIA, well, that's if you were never baptized and you're trying to go through all of it. Well, this is RCIA through like for everyone. It's just that we have a couple of different buckets of people, but basically if you were not baptized, you will be confirmed and go through after Easter Vigil, which is like, or on Easter Vigil or something like that. I think it's Easter Vigil that they do it. And they will do all of your steps at Easter Vigil, including your baptism. So they will baptize them at Easter Vigil and they'll get confirmed at Easter Vigil.
How does a baptism take place for an adult? Do they just like kneel or?
So the video that I saw, we watched, oh my gosh, this is so funny. So the gal, I've met one of the ladies in my program. I love her. She's so cute. She's like the cutest little, like, I want to say she's probably Cuban. She's from Miami, so she has a little bit of an accent.
That's why you think Cuban, huh?
Uh-huh.
I'm just kidding.
She's beautiful, but she's also just funny. And she's actually a parent at my kid's school, but her kids are a little bit older. And so we're talking, and she's married. Her husband is Catholic. She has never been baptized, nothing. And so she will also have to be getting married this year before her, and hers is before, she has to do it before Easter Vigil, so she's going to be right. Like we might be back-to-back weddings, who knows? And so she's like, we're asking about the wedding stuff in class, and she's like, okay, she's like, oh my gosh, this is just making me like, cause she's like, my husband wants like a full blown wedding. They've been married for 16 years. She's like, my husband wants like this full blown wedding. And this is not a lot of time to plan like a full blown wedding. And I was like, yeah, I know. It's crazy. And she goes, okay. So she's asking questions. She's like, okay, I have another question. She's like, the class has like, 75 people in it. Right. So she's like, wow. It's a big class. And she's like, this is going to sound weird, but like, is there like a something we're supposed to wear? Like, is there like a fashion, like is a dress code or something for it? And she's like, this. So the teacher's like, well, that's actually a good question. So, you're gonna wear like a bathing suit, and we're all like, and he's like, but no one's gonna see it. You're gonna have a robe over you. When you'll do your baptism and your everything. And I mean, and so she's like, okay. And he goes, because you're going to get wet. So you'll have a change of clothes after you'll do your change of clothes, and then you'll come out in another robe, and then you'll do the confirmation portion of it. And she's like, okay, and then someone said, yeah, you're going to get soaked. So that's why. And they're like, she's like, what do you mean hold on, wait a minute. I'm going to get soaked. I'm going to get soaked.
Is it like to a full non-denomination dunking?
It's not a dunking. So you do have like a we'll say like a pool size, right? Like a pool size that comes in, and you do kneel, and then they pour the water over you like twice, I think, but it's a good pouring of water over you. And so we saw the guy, like he showed us the video of what he went through last year when he did it. And she's like, my hair. What am I going to do about my hair? And then someone said, yeah, don't wear a lot of like black mascara and stuff because it'll like run.
Yeah.
And she's like, what? So I go, you know what? You should just get a wig and have it with your outfit.
Yeah.
And then you just throw a wig on, and then your hair's all done.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my gosh.
Do that. She's going to need to do that.
She was freaking out. We were laughing, but I was like, it is kind of like, whoa, like it's a big, like there's a lot of water. And so she's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, I just had this is not what I thought. I thought like, I don't know.
But even, I mean, if you think about it, even the babies, like their whole head is getting wet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess when you're talking about doing it, you're not necessarily thinking about that part.
Yeah.
So maybe
it was hilarious.
But that is so funny. And I'm so curious. So when you get confirmed, she'll be there doing that stuff?
No, she'll already have been confirmed, because they'll do Easter Vigil, and then we will do in May. And part of it is that we have to be confirmed by like the bishop. So it depends on their schedule too. Like our pastor and the bishop both have to be like present, I believe.
So why doesn't she have to be confirmed with the bishop?
She can be, I think she does, but he's already like
schedule wise,
yes,
because of the Easter Vigil part, he will be there.
Yeah, I think the baptismal part they can do by the pastor. Just the pastor, and the bishop doesn't need to be there. I don't remember what they said. It was something like that. But basically, all of the people that are non-Catholic that are going through RCIA, they will be all baptized and confirmed at Easter Vigil. And then everyone else who is already Catholic will be doing their confirmation in May, which a friend of ours did the Easter Vigil confirmation. Like they went through the whole RCIA program before he got married, and he had already been married. So he had to do the whole annulment. He had to do all of that stuff. And it's like hours, like the service is hours, because they have to go through all the steps. And we always laugh because they said like one guy, one of their friends, who's like, it's not even like they're like the best friends, but he's like one friend of like all these friends that we have together. And they said one of them stayed and did the whole, like watched him do the whole process. And they're like, he was like the sweetest guy that, he would do that for him and watch them all. But he's like, and everyone's like, I don't know. I don't think I could do it. It's too long. It's too long sitting there.
But he witnessed all of the sacraments that he got, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's sweet. That's sweet of him.
Very sweet.
I have a question going back to, sorry, I know that this isn't necessarily what we were like, hey, let's talk about this. But with the annulment part of it, what like you were worried, you kind of felt like the feelings you had mentioned earlier. Now what has changed? Like what did they explain that made you feel like, or I guess
So
where are you at?
yeah, so I think what got me was when they explained, look, there's two things. One, I didn't get married in the church the first time. It was a civil marriage, but we were never married in the church, which made that actually a lot easier. So if you get married in the church, make sure you are one and done.
It's gonna, yeah. Make sure that's gonna stick.
Yeah. But the other part was that they said, like, basically, are there things in the marriage, or did you like were there? How did they say it? They said it like, I'm going to say it really not appropriate. Like, I'm just going to say like how I'm basically thinking it in my head. It's like, um, were there like was there stuff that they weren't being really honest with who they kind of were, the type of person that they really were. Because had you known those things, would you probably wouldn't have married them, right? So, in my situation, I didn't know that my husband was a cheater, serial cheater, drug addict, you know, I hate me, alcoholic. There were things that were like, whoa, hold on. And I say that, and I don't mean it like when I say drug addict, I mean like he used, and it was not okay. Like I was not okay with. I was never going to be okay with anyone doing drugs. I would never be okay with him being an alcoholic, and I would never be okay with someone cheating on me.
Right.
And so it's almost like it was under false pretenses that he entered this marriage, because he entered the marriage in when we said our vows as all of these things he was going to uphold, and he didn't, and he did not. And so I think I took that and I was like, okay, it's okay. It doesn't mean it never happened. It just means he wasn't honest with the person that he really was, and you could say, well, he could have changed or whatever. Well, obviously he was that person when I married him, because it didn't take long after to realize that's the things that he was doing.
And it's not like this happened one time and you left him.
Right. Over and over and over and over.
He had a lot of chances.
A ton of
to
chances.
redeem himself.
Yeah. And so, so I think at that point I was like, okay, I think I'm okay with this. And honestly, it was like, I love my husband and I love my kids. And one of my biggest things with doing RCIA and being confirmed is, I'm sending my children through Catholic school and I'm not just for the education portion of it, but also for the religious portion of it. And I need to be an example and a leader in my own home and my own family too. And I want to be that example for my girls. And I want us to be united and whole. And I want to go through these things so that when they go through these steps, I know how they feel. I'm aware. I know what they're talking about. I never want them to talk about something and I don't know because I didn't do it. And I never want them to say, well, why do I have to do it? You didn't do it. Those things. So I wanted us to be united. I just also felt like it was a way for me to grow spiritually and be closer to God. And so, those were all the reasons why I took this step and why I'm doing these things.
Well, I'm so excited for you that you are, and I am happy for your whole family. I think, like what you said about the girls knowing that you have done it too, right?
Yeah.
Like they aren't having to do something that you didn't do.
Right.
Especially because if you believe that the sacraments are holy and you are supposed to take part in them, if you don't, then yeah, you're not necessarily setting that example for the girls.
Yeah.
And so I love that. And I love that you guys, once the girls have gone through communion, you guys will all be able to take communion together. And I think that that's super special. So
Yeah.
I love that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up now.
Yes.
2025.
Yes, 2025. I will keep you guys updated if I get my youngest to get a little different insight and get some goals written down, whether it's in June or September or December.
Whenever it is.
As long as I can get him to change his mindset, and P will keep us updated on her business stuff, and we'll get to hear about her wedding that is going to be bigger than just like I mean, it's not going to be like you went down to the courthouse kind of thing.
Yeah.
But obviously not as big as, oh, before we go, can I ask you, had you been confirmed, would you have gotten married in the church at that time? Or I only ask because I think your wedding was probably the most beautiful wedding that I've been to.
I know.
And I loved it. So I just wonder, like at that time, do you think you guys would have gone for a wedding in the church?
I don't know. I feel like it probably yes, but I feel like you're absolutely right. I think it was so perfect the way it was.
It was a very you wedding.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's why, like, everyone, like, you know, we have friends that have said this, but people will say like, oh, I want to do, like, if I had to do my wedding over again, or I want to do a big anniversary because I want to have like another wedding. I never wanted to have another wedding because I loved my wedding, you know, and I think that's why this will be simple, because it's just a completely different thing, but I'll never have that back again. Like, I'll never be able to redo that again, because everything really in my mind, in my heart, was so beautiful and perfect the way it was meant to be. The only difference I would say is maybe if the taco truck didn't fall over on the side of the road and we had gotten our tacos, that would be great. But you know what? Neighbors nachos at the end of the night, that was still awesome. It was still awesome.
It was delicious. I love it. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Oh, well, good. I forgot I wanted to ask you that because I loved your wedding so much.
I know.
I feel like it was very you guys, you know. And
I do. I agree.
Like, I know you could do a reception somewhere else and have that kind of thing. If you had done a church wedding, and that's probably what would have happened, I'm assuming. I just wasn't sure. Because I just, like, when I think about your guys' wedding, it's just you guys, you know?
Yeah.
So very cool. Well, I'm very excited for your journey and your growth, and I'm excited to be at your church wedding.
Yeah.
Is that what it would be called? What is that called? You're getting married in the church. What is that called? Just like that?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
What did I put it without sounding like an idiot?
What did I put on the invite? I feel like the sacrament of holy matrimony.
Yeah, the sacrament of holy matrimony. I'm excited to attend your sacrament of holy matrimony.
Yeah.
And see you guys again. So I'm super excited for you guys. So
thank you. So much, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks for swapping.